do you know how the aliens impregnate women?
Sure. Sometimes they do it just normally, like we would, generally copulate as, humans. But they also do it with artificial means, and that's the major way they, do that through abduction.
Well, I don't want.
The gray aliens literally implant the reptilian, whatever hybrid they want to create. And there are a lot of them. You can go. That's one of the major things. Every time I go up to, I don't do it very often because I really don't like the city of Las Vegas. But when I do go up there, I see a lot of hybrids.
Okay. Well,
because it's close to Area 51.
Okay. I don't want to sound too risque, but I've really never seen an alien with a what we may call a unit. Is it something hid under the skin? Is there a fold there that?
Well, first of all, snakes have two penises, the male. So it depends on which reptile you're talking about, whether you're talking about a lizard reptile male or a snake reptile male. They're totally different.
They have two?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, if there's any children in the room, please leave. I think we're entering into we've crossed some kind of line here. I don't know what's on the other side. There's nothing on the other side of that equal sign. So,
well, I think you can look that up in your biology books or your zoology books, and you'll find that out too. But they are different. But I think many women have been implanted literally, and I think that's part of the biblical story, possibly. I don't know, of the Virgin Mary could possibly have been implanted that way too. The gray aliens have been around forever, for thousands and thousands of years.
Okay. And then we have this question. We have another question for you. The stars that we see at night, do you think perhaps any of those may actually be a mothership?
Sure.
Wouldn't they move, or are they stationed in geosynchronous orbit? I mean, shouldn't they move?
Yeah, and you can. There's different places that it's easier to see them and to see the ships move around like stars. If you go to the Canyonlands of Utah, you can. It's incredible. You can see a lot of the ships just moving all over the place, and they're like little starlights. Yeah, but then the big ships, you can go there too, and sometimes see the big ones that are big cigar-shaped ships, and other ones that are not necessarily star-like.
Okay, all right. So you feel like you're a part of this war against the reptoids, and
I don't know if I'd say I'm part of the war. I simply am trying to expose their lies and what they're. In other words, I said, okay, if you want to live with us on this planet, then stop shape-shifting. Stop lying. Stop, show us your real faces, if we're going to try to live together. But they won't do it.
So you just want some honesty in the human-reptilian relationship. You just want some honesty.
It's either one way or the other. Either they are honest, or they leave the planet.
Yeah, I mean, can't we all just get along? I mean, I'd like to get along with them, but I understand that some of them may be snacking on my fellow humans. So I don't know that we're going to get along that way.
Well, see, that's the problem with shape-shifting. The problem is, in order for them to shape-shift, they have to literally eat and drink human blood to maintain part of the DNA within them.
Really?
So that they can shape-shift.
So that's the reason why. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's not for nutrition. It's for their ability
to lie to humanity or to any species that they want to.
And they have lied.
Pretend like they are them. Yeah.
They have lied from the beginning. Let me ask you something. Was the devil in the Garden of Eden, was he a shapeshifter?
Probably. He was a snake, wasn't he, too?
Well, yeah, there you go.
I mean, was the snake, after all, the Orion Queens? The Orion Queens their name is the Shog. One of them is the Shog. And I put up actually a carving, an interterrestrial carving on my Yeti page. They did of the Shog, one of the great Orion Queens, with a big Draco next to her. I don't know if you've seen that page.
No, but you're talking my language, man. You're talking about Dracos and all kinds of stuff. That's great. Go ahead.
Anyway, the Dracos, this large Draco had an outfit of a bird, and yet he had the same headdress that you will see on Battlestar Galactica. It's a silver headdress. It swoops back, and very bird-like. And after I put that page up, the very next day, the crop circle people emailed me, and there was a large crop circle of the Queen crop circle in England, which was magnificent.
Really? So you don't believe crop circles are a couple college kids with some boards and ropes out there?
Oh, heavens, no. Oh, some of them are, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, some people try to fake it, but
Yeah.
I think a good percentage of them are quite real.
And
And
what are
I
the...
think they're very reptilian, and I think their messages, I think it's sort of like war that's going on. I think some of them could be from our side and some from their side, communicating, literally, many types of things. What's coming. As an example, it's a good way for communication for them to say what's the next step they're going to do to us, as an example.
we have this question in from our live chat. How can you tell if you've been chipped?
Oh, well, actually, a very good way is simply get your photo and solarize it on you could solarize your whole body on using Adobe Photoshop, and then you can see where the implants are.
Really?
My index page of Rioloa Press, I did an example of the VT Tech Killer, and he had an enormous implant in the middle of his forehead. Enormous, and part of it was quite artificial. So he was a Manchurian candidate, and if you have anything like that, how can you tell? It will show up. Absolutely.
Okay, and how many people on this planet, percent-wise, Barbara, do you think has these chips? Do we all have them?
Yes.
Are they controlling us with those chips?
Yes. Yes.
And are they making us watch entertainment tonight? What's the purpose? What's the purpose of that?
Well, the purpose is always for control. The troll, remember the troll in the little bridge that you had to cross over?
Never did like
him.
him. Never did like him.
Yeah, the control. So that's what it's for. I have a friend in Toronto, Owen James, who's a healer, and he said, we've been talking the last few years, and he said he takes out implants from people, and he said, every time I take some out, they put more in. And in the large cities like Los Angeles or Chicago, I think that's one reason why we haven't had the uprising.
Really?
Is because many of the people have been implanted so much. I have an Indian friend, Sweet Medicine Black Bear of the Cheyenne tribe.
All right.
And I estimated he had 25 implants. He was a great warrior. His grandfather taught him about the reptiles, and he's had.
So they're even implanting the Indians?
The more you are against them, the more they're going to put implants in you. Okay, to try to control you.
Okay, so you're saying or suggesting that once you get rid of the implants, they're going to come back and stick some more into you?
They have a new technique we found.
Okay, what's that?
This is going to be. It isn't just implanting you and taking you up in spaceships and putting the implants in you. Sometimes they do that with larger ones. They have a way of doing fourth-dimensional darts. And I found this out from both talking to Owen. It's a new technique in which they can simply dart you from a distance, just like, a flying dart. I had birds in my house and that I love, cockatiels and lovebirds and other birds.
Yeah.
And every time a dart would come through the window, we could hear it go thud. The tragic thing was I no longer name my birds because when they try to dart them, they also kill them with the nerve toxins. So I've had trouble keeping my birds alive.
We had this is not a question, but a comment on the Fast Blast on the Edge's website, which is still there, even though we've added another layer of communication called the live chat. But from the Fast Blast, this statement comes, just a statement, honesty comes from compassion. Reptiles cannot biologically show compassion. They are totally left brain and linear. It is our right brain function that enables humans to show compassion. Do you think there's some truth to that?
I do. But however, I do think that, like John F. Kennedy, who was a hybrid, okay?
Yeah.
I think some of them have more human DNA and some less. So there's going to be a variation there. The purebred reptiles, no, they don't have compassion.
So
but the ones that are more, shall we say, down further on the scale of hybrids will.
You mentioned earlier that